Squeeze it. Move around. Move around.
I feel like starting.
The reason I'm doing this is I want you to look around. Look around at everybody. Take a good look at everybody. This is the last time you'll be together. It's a special moment.
Quick on three. 1, 2, 3.
Let's get after it.
Kickoff here. Aliquippa is going to get the football to start this particular football. Again, guys, the wind somewhat of a factor, but not as much snow. Beautiful sunny day, but crisp and cold.
And two teams that like to run the football today, and one team that's only given up 3.3 points per game and only 23.3 yards per game, and that is Northern Lehigh, and we're underway.
Michael Washington with it. He can't get the handle, and then finally does, and he's going to be hit and drop back at the 18-yard line. 2003 PIAA Football Championships here on PCN. So here we go, our first play from scrimmage. Savante Gilliam gives it off to the fullback. That's going to be DJ Jeter, a 5'11", 195-pounder. Let's meet the Aliquippa offense. There you see Jeter. He's more or less a blocking back, but there's a lot of speed on this Aliquippa offense. Gary featuring 4 guys that run a sub-4 540, including Patrick and Darrell Revis. We'll call his name an awful lot, but Paris, Cobb, Brown, Mills, a developing situation on that offensive line.
You got it all. Darrell Revis is a guy who will play a quarterback and also out there at split end, halfback, and every now and then he serves a hot dog or two in the stands.
Pass incomplete. Washington. Now let's meet a defense, Gary, that statistically has put numbers together that just kind of blow you away.
Well, 3.3 points a game for this Northern Lehigh defense, and it's the whole defense when we talk about that, and only 23.3 yards per game. And the guy that really takes care of things in there is Craig Plotzko. We'll call his name a lot this afternoon from the nose guard spot.
So 3rd and about 3 upcoming now for Aliquippa. They'll line Revis to the top of your screen. Washington going in motion here. Pass is caught, and it's a first down. Really good looking play that time for Aliquippa. Making the play is going to be Brandon Revis.
Aliquippa uses 3 different styles of offense. Short passes to play one-on-one in the flat, as you saw right there. And then they'll use a belly fake game that eats up yardage, and a spread attack a lot of times that lines up its athletes across the field. They want to take advantage of that athleticism and speed that they possess.
Last time that Aliquippa made the state championship game was the year 2000. They ended up losing to Mount Carmel, and They really lost their poise in the second half, and this team is one of the more disciplined, and that's one of the reasons they're optimistic. The ball is out. It's going to be Surface with the recovery. Still going, and he's all the way down to the 16-yard line. Make that Jack Gill on the recovery, and there he is. Gill, a 6'1" sophomore, and the first big turnover, giveaway, takeaway today, going to be huge.
Mike Schmianek, the head coach for Aliquippa, wanted to run the football against a team that gives up 2 feet per rush, and we saw what this defense can do on this play.
Go for the ball, strip it away. You see it right there, and a big turnaround here in the early moments of this game.
So the fumble gives them a short field at the 15-yard line.
You'll see them run the option this afternoon. Strong running game here for Northern Lehigh. They come out of the I formation to start.
Here's Surface, his first carry. He's over 1,200 yards on the year, and he's bunched up after a gain of about a yard. Let's see the Northern Lehigh offense. Again, they live on the ground, Gary. They've only thrown for about 375 yards on the year as you look at PIAA right there, but they've been on the lead. They've only trailed once, and that was in last week's Eastern Final to Lakeland. They came back in the fourth quarter and won that. Otherwise, they've been on the lead the entire way.
Well, Pete Wade is the conductor of the symphony. Good ball handling quarterback, and here you're coming out with full house offense this time. Watch the pitch.
This time he's hit as he lets it go, and let's see, loose football, and I'm not sure who's got it. Aliquippa thinks they do.
Darrell Revis got in there. What quickness by Revis, and he forced the early pitch that time by Wade. Let's take a look.
I think Jack Gill ended up getting back for that. The Northern Lehigh offense, we talked about Surface. There's Jack Gill, who had the fumble recovery. Tyler Tack, an excellent tight end, and an offensive line that really can dictate tempo.
And how about Kyle Fulweller in there also, 7.2 average per carry, not bad either. So they've got a heck of a good offense in that backfield, but the early pitch that time, almost a disaster for Northern Lehigh.
So 3rd and 17 for Northern Lehigh. Way to back. Intercepted, threw it right into the hands of Savante Gilliam, and Aliquippa with a big answer on defense gets it back via the interception.
One of the things that Aliquippa has lived on all year, the turnovers, 46 of them they've gotten this year, and here you see it again, played perfectly by Gilliam, but again, rushed very quickly his way in. Gilliam picks it off.
There was so much talk before this game about the Northern Lehigh defense, strong all season long, better than strong against the fast Aliquippa offense. A lot of people think that the 2 other units are going to be key, and that's Northern Lehigh's offense and Aliquippa's defense. The ability to keep this game close by Aliquippa, I think, speaks volumes as to their chances to come out as the AA champs.
Aliquippa going into a win. Check in with Mike Zambelli. We've got a big difference in field position. Here's Washington. He fumbled it again, and I believe that Northern Lehigh's on it at the 11-yard line. Washington is having all kinds of problems holding on to the football. Well, separating the pile here.
It is some kind of cold down there for those of you watching the game, and on the snow problems we had the other night, but certainly very cold and tough getting a feel for that football.
Washington somehow dug it out of there and won a battle with Andy Geiger for that.
Here, look at it again right here. Just try to strip it away. And you see every hand going for the ball. Great tackling by Northern Lehigh, and then quickly on top of the ball again is Washington picking it back up for Aliquippa.
Jack Gill, the inside linebacker, poked that ball out of there. They almost really left the ball right on the doorstep there.
And every tackle we've seen so far, good stripping to the football constantly. That's good discipline.
This is going to be the fullback here, DJ Jeter, and he's just gobbled up right at the line of scrimmage. How about the numbers, Steve, coming into this game on this defense? Just really just take your breath away how stingy they are.
You can say 23 yards per game rushing, and that's pretty stellar number. Less than a yard per carry, 2 feet per carry.
That's frightening.
When you start measuring defensive statistics in feet instead of yards, you know that you're talking about a dominant defense.
And throw in 7 straight shutouts, and that sounds pretty frightening during the course of the season.
Yeah, not half bad.
So 3rd and 15. Gilliam throwing for Washington and incomplete. So now they're going to have
win in the state quarterfinals. They gave up just 2 first downs.
Pretty good kick considering it's going to be Wada on the run. It's got pretty good momentum and then just gets crunched at the 27-yard line. He took a poke that time.
William Forbes, 44.
We'll call his name a lot.
A nice ball handling there in the option.
Surface, and a good tackle is made that time by Savante Gilliam in a face mask. And there's going to be some extra yardage on top of that, most likely 15 yards.
Watch the good ball handling here. We get a chance to look at this again on the inside. Good faking, and that's what a triple option quarterback does.
Yeah, that's a personal foul face mask. It's going to be 15 yards that time.
I think the Aliquippa officials didn't like that too much, but it was the easiest face mask call you're ever going to make. You see Mike Smianik. See, football coach, basketball state championship coach, athletic director. Does he do anything else there?
I have a personal foul, face mask on the defense. It's half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. It'll be a first down.
That's Dennis Beck, our referee. Here's the double handoff again.
Love to watch that play. Saw a little bit from Southern Columbia the other day.
Jack Gill sticks his head down and gets to about the 10.
Receptions from Michael Washington this year, too. That's pretty stellar in itself. But you're right. They're all quick back there, ready to pick the ball up, as we already saw a few moments ago.
With Northern Lehigh with less than 700 yards passing on the year, or 800 yards rather. Surface. Looking to get a block. Somehow sprung out of that and jumps to the 5-yard line, literally.
That's good hard running by Jake Surface, because Kalen Mills, 75, and also Forbes, 44. Strung that play out pretty well, but he makes a nice little cut after the hit right there.
See, we take one more look at it. You'll see Fullweller lead. Look at 42 right here, leading out, coming up in front of him here, and 42 leading the block, getting him loose.
So it's going to be 3rd and 4 upcoming. There you see the ball at the 6-yard line. They'll need the 2-yard line to keep this drive going, but they're really in 4-down territory. Surface.
Whoa.
Just a tremendous tackle on the far side.
Darrell Revis, number 2, came up from his cornerback position, and that was bang zoom to the moon.
Gilliam helped out as well. I mean, looks like he's rounding the corner, and then all of a sudden, nothing. Revis hits.
Man. That was actually Gilliam there, too. Great work again by a crew from TV2 and Service Electric. Those guys survived the elements on Friday in the driving snowstorm that we had, that absolute epic with Manheim Central winning 39-38 and Southern Columbia winning their 2nd consecutive crown. Dug ourselves out yesterday, and we're back today on 4th down. It's going to be Wada keeping. Nope, it's going to be Surface, and he jumps in for the touchdown. Boy, that's great ball fake right there. Had me fooled.
I was just going to say, that's Gary's ball handling key for Pete Wada. It was out after.
Look what he does. It's that inside double handoff again, and this time for the touchdown.
That time got a great block by the center, Mike Lebron, as a 5'11", 215-pounder. For the point after, as you look at Nick Hosford, and the kick is up, and it is good. So 5:08 remain in the opening quarter. A 29-yard touchdown drive capped off again, and it is at the back of Northern Lehigh. You can see it blew the ball right off the tee there.
Revis and Washington back to receive the kick here. There you can get an idea of what kind of wind we have here today. Nice thing is there's no snow accompanying it.
This will be Revis, his first touch. He's an electrifying performer. Into the clear, and look out. This is a 4.48 40 guy, and he's gone. He's just coasting home for the touchdown, Aliquippa.
89-yard touchdown return for Darrell Revis and Aliquippa. And I don't think he ever really put the Jets on there.
Well, I was also going to say the operative word in 89-yard touchdown is touch, in that he got one touch and he scored, and he didn't get touched by anybody from Northern Lehigh.
Look at
this is a great return, good recognition of the hole, and then it's gone. And you mentioned he didn't put the Jets on. He's one of those deceptive type runners, because very long stride doesn't necessarily look like he's putting him up or picking him up and putting him down as quickly as you might think, but he covers ground very, very quickly, and that was a big answer.
And there's a guy that's a little happy about that move.
And Aliquippa, that's Mike Zmianek, the head coach. They're going to go for two. Handoff, Patrick pushing, and he's right at the line. Are they going to give it to him? I don't think so. They say he's an inch short.
Tell you what, they're making an argument that the ball actually got across the line at one point. We'll see if we can get a look down the line on that.
It's close, man. I'll tell you, it's right on that inch line.
Yeah, we're at a bad angle, and it kind of looked like he did get in from up here.
Here's 26 right here, coming right down the middle.
Nope, he didn't get there. Nope, he didn't. That's
Never
good.
made it. Good work.
Good work by our camera crew. You won't get the real angle like you did on the last one. Here you go.
It's got to get right there. The ball. Oh, no, just for a moment. Just for a moment. Again, a tough angle to see.
Kyle Fulweiler kept him out. So 7-6 is our score.
I like the call, honestly, because I think it's one of those calls that if you make it, it's one of those big time pushes for your kids.
All right, let's have a look.
Go 0-11. But he realized you got to do a lot of things before you start winning, and he did those things, and they're paying off now.
Tough handle that time for Frank Mass. All right, well, again, hanging on to the football is huge. These two teams live on giveaway, takeaway. Way to throwing with a win, looking and incomplete, looking for surface. Pretty good throw.
Tommy Campbell on the coverage, number 42. We talk about Darrell Revis making it look too easy. There are some basketball coaches that are wishing that football season was about 6 or 7 weeks longer, because as good as he is in football, he may be better in basketball. The leading scorer last year in the WPIAL.
26 points a game last year, and one of the mainstays for the Quips. He wanted them to go undefeated this year. They've already lost the game, and he can't play until football season's over.
Well, you need 5 practices in your sport before you're eligible to play. That's according to PIAA rules.
Hey, how about Pete Wader early here? He's thrown 2 passes already. It's like pass happy. Only threw it 53 times all year.
Surface bounced outside, but not. The Northern Lehigh has been pushed so far in the postseason. First round of states won a defensive struggle from DeLone Catholic 6-0. Last week trailed for the first time all year in the 4th quarter before finally knocking Lakeland out 10-7 in a real tough Eastern final. Wader throws, got a man, pass is caught, got a first down. It's Fulweiler.
Fulweiler did a nice job of hanging on to that ball. Thrown down toward his ankles, picks it up, gets himself back on balance, and heads on around for a first down.
But if we get a chance to see this again, well-designed play. Well-designed play is that there's someone on the outside, as we see Wader get knocked.
Aliquippa's lucky that wasn't a late hit on the quarterback.
So one of your boys will be boys plays right there?
I think
Steve?
so.
Yeah.
I think so. Key to the battle type of thing.
That Northwestern type logo on the side of their helmets.
Here comes Surface, has a big hole, make it Fulweiler, and he flies across the 40 down near another first down. He's got 9 or 10 depending on the spot, down to the 37-yard line.
Fulweiler coming into this game, 96 attempts for 687 yards, 7.2 yards per carry. So he's got some gaudy numbers too.
Wade is getting waxed as we go. Block, if we can see it from Jack Gill right there at 34. Real nice job taking Forbes out of the play.
Fulweiler again's got got a blocker in front. Now he's in the clear. He's at the 10. Fulwiler for the touchdown. 36 yards, and you can't draw it up any better than that on the option.
Nor can you block it any better than Jake Surface did. Or, 44 Surface on the outside. He had a tremendous seal block, and Fulwiler just cut right up inside.
Nor could you sell it any better than Wade did that time. Wade in the last moment getting hit again. Now watch this coming outside. Here's a seal block you're talking about. And then just into the clear. Beautiful block right there.
Fulwiler knows where the end zone is as well. That's his 16th touchdown, and the kick is up and good. So with 3:36 remaining, 14-6, and what everybody thought would be a low-scoring game has been quite the contrary here in the opening quarter. There's a scoring drive.
At least he didn't name his dog Stop or Go or Stay.
Yeah, they got to blow that dead because the ball fell off the tee right before he kicked it.
Let's go down to Mike Zambelli. Mike.
Guys,
So,
Often thought about a dog being named Stay. Like, go, come here, stay, come here, stay. You know, your dog be like static all day long.
so here we go.
The cat.
So they're going to have to hold the football here because of the wind conditions. They have increased, by the way, since we kicked off. Nudge it on the ground. This is the fullback, DJ Jeter, for Aliquippa, and they've got pretty good starting position here at their own 38-yard line or 37-yard line.
Scott Snyder on the tackle. We talked about the wind, and for the most part it is blowing directly across your screen across the field, but on occasions it does change direction, and when it does change, it blows across the field from where you're looking at it to the far side, from near side to far side. But it is right now right in Aliquippa's face.
Look at that defense for Northern Lehigh. Craig Plotsko, number 31, the linebacker. He's a nose guard. Little guy at 5'8", 165, but he's going to be in a lot of plays this afternoon.
Revis, and they just crawl all over him for a loss back at the 30-yard line. That's a loss of 6 on the play. And that's for Northern Lehigh right there.
Aaron Bort stepping in there, number 88. Aaron Boyd, by the way, leads his team in sacks this year, as you see it right here. 17 now in the season.
Kevin Wetzel as well as a sophomore, 6'2", 250-pounder. And Aliquippa must have the wrong play, and they call a timeout. Here's Coach Mianick. He talked about him having great success in basketball. Aliquippa last won a state championship in 1991, and we talked about this winning tradition in both sports and him being kind of a caretaker in both. Here's Coach Mianick.
Number of kids, the plans you have to make for travel and eating and hotels and that kind of thing. But no, there's not a lot of difference to come out here. By the way, I resigned as the basketball coach this year, so as soon as this is done, I'm into my retirement years.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
He doesn't seem upset about not having anything to do this winter as far as coaching.
Big smile right there. I'll tell you what, though, one of the things that he does well, he recognizes how to let the kids play, but he keeps a certain system about it, and he lets the kids run, he lets them use their abilities. And I think that, you know, sometimes as a coach, the best thing you can do is to recognize what you've got and let it play.
Well, they've had some great players. I remember 1988, the old arena, which is right next door to us here. Sean Gilbert, 280 pounds, thunder dunked on Allentown Central Catholic. They had Billy McCaffrey, who fouled out in double overtime with 47 points. They had a guy, Myron Skywalker, who went on to Duquesne. One of the greatest finals, basketball-wise, ever played.
Those are some fun times in that.
In the old barn, man.
Yeah.
The last last time they won it. Ty Law is now with New England Patriots. Here's Gilliam looking long. Revis out there diving and just out of his reach.
That's a pretty good throw into that wind, and just out of the reach of Darrelle Revis. But
I got to tell you, Revis, I didn't give him a chance to catch that thing, and all of a sudden he made 20 yards in about 3 seconds and almost picked that thing up. Watch this. Great lead. Revis is right down here, and all of a sudden just starts running under it, and he makes it a possibility.
Yeah, Shavonte Gilliam recognized the single coverage out there, and that's really all that you need to do is lay it up and hope that Darrelle Revis can run under it, because about 8 times out of 10 he can.
Gilliam throws, pass intercepted. It's Fulwiler again. Fulwiler's going to take it all the way back to the Aliquippa 33-yard line. Well, Mike was talking about that lucky T-shirt. They may go get a couple more pressed off. He's off to a heck of a start.
Pass was intended for Gerard Littlejohn and just off of his hands, but Fulwiler did a nice job of also tipping it up and tipping it straight up in the air. We'll see it on the replay.
Look at this.
Well, the defense, you can see for Northern Lehigh, one of the reasons why they're here, and here's what Jim Tack has to say about them. We'll get to that here momentarily. 1st and 10 at the 34, and there they stop. Well, the defense set up this short field, and here's what Coach Tack has to.
First quarter by Aliquippa. First quarter starts 2:29 to go.
And they're only down 8 points. 3 turnovers in their own side of the field.
Here's Fulwiler. Big gain, has 5, has 10, and he's rumbling all the way down to the 20-yard line. A gain of 19 for Fulwiler.
527 points scored by this Northern Lehigh team. And we'll hear Jim Tack talk about how many they don't give up.
Well, it's going to have to be absolutely a terrible cliche, but a team effort. But if you get Plotzko and Fulwiler playing emotional and get them to make some things happen on defense, and the rest of them just rise to the occasion. On offense, I think a group that's been overlooked by a lot of people is the offensive line. Not a lot of people said a whole lot about them, but they have clicked. I think they're going to have a big day, and then I think Jake and Pete and Kyle and Jack will take it from there. But that offensive line is going to have a great day against a nice defensive unit.
When you talk about that offensive line, too, you've got Kevin Wetzel, number 68, the offensive right tackle. Offensive guard Joe Pape, 77. Mike LeBrun, you mentioned him earlier, Jed, 57 in the middle. Then Jim Kern, 74, the offensive guard on the left side. And Brian Caponero on the other side, 75, the offensive tackle. That's a heck of an offensive line, and they are really pushing out right now on Aliquippa.
So a gain of 1 on that last carry, and they're going to pitch Fulwiler. This time, nothing doing. Great play. We said he'd be in on a lot of play. William Forbes coming out of that linebacker spot. He's a 6'1", 215-pound senior, and he just jackknifed in there and blew the play up.
You want to make a great tackle? Watch this, kids. Right here. Watch around the legs. Boom. Forbes just brings him down.
Coach Tack talked about his offensive line being the underpublicized group. I think this entire Aliquippa defense coming into this game has been the underpublicized group, and they're going to have to put up another big stand or else go down 2 scores.
Way to back, looks, throws.
Speaking of back, they were looking to go over the back that time. Looked like Gilliam might be coming over the back, but went for the ball, and no call by the official. Well, it depends on what angle you see it from, I suppose.
Aaron Mills, sophomore. He's looking at about a 38-yard field goal, waited to hold off the left hash. And he's got the wind to his back. And that kick is just blocked. Now picked up by Revis, and he's in a foot race. Wada trying to catch him, and Revis finding an extra gear. Can he make it? He's at the 10, and Revis has scored again. Sensational play by Revis, who had the presence of mind to pick it up and coast home from there.
66 yards unofficially from the 34.
Two lightning strike touchdowns in this opening quarter, and both by Revis. An 89-yard kickoff return, and now picks up a blocked field goal attempt and goes 66 yards from there.
How big a block's been all weekend. We saw two the other night, one that led to a championship, and then here again today we see one that leads to another touchdown.
Well, and as much as the block and the runner key, he was the only player on the field at the time that had the presence of mind to pick it up and go with it. He did that right away. There were some other folks just kind of standing around.
Little fade pattern looking for the other Revis, and that one's good. This Revis is Brandon Revis, a junior.
Wonderful job by Gilliam that time, running his fakes and then just throwing it out there and let him go one-on-one in the corner of the end zone. And Mike Swiatek says, just another day at the office.
Gorgeous throw on the fade that time, and Revis ran right under it. You can't do it any better than that. We're right back where we started, tied at 14.
And how much fun is this? This has been everything advertised. Really tough Northern Lehigh defense. We'll see the blocked field goal right here. And on the block, it was Darrell Revis.
Marquet Riggins in there as well, getting in and helping, and then Revis says, well, why not? We'll run it.
He just kicked it off his leg. And
watch this. This is like the fastest kid in the neighborhood and the second fastest kid trying to catch him. He's kind of looking back and saying, well, just keep running. You ain't going to get me today.
And here's Brandon Revis on that gorgeous throw. All you need is 1 foot down, and he got it in there. And they get the big 2-point conversion, and there he is, Darrell Revis. He's got an interesting offer from Kansas. They said, if you come play football here, we'll let you walk on and play basketball.
I think Bill Self was kind of agreeable to that.
Mike Mangino, the head coach, would really like to see that happen.
Yeah.
Most believe he's going to go to the University of Pittsburgh, where Josh Lay is, and where a lot of guys go, and this is going to go out of bounds to the 35. Well, you can understand why everybody Division I, why he's getting so much action. You can see the explosiveness of this young man. We've talked about his basketball skills, but right now it's been the Darrell Revis show early in this first quarter for Aliquippa. There's Coach Swiatek.
Obvious that he has speed, and that comes from the legs, but the touchdowns come from his eyes and his head.
Yep.
So the offside against Aliquippa before the kick means they'll re-kick now from the 35-yard line. I think Northern Lehigh believes kicking against the wind, they can get pretty good field position out of this.
Look at the wind on that kick.
And they'll get about 3 or 4 yards back.
Look like a bad wedge.
You can take it from the spot, by the way, instead of just at the 35, and that's what they'll do. It goes to the...
I think they're going to make him kick it again back from the 30.
Re-kick out of bounds. 5-yard penalty and re-kick.
There, and they don't have a lot of confidence in their kicking game. I think we're seeing evidence of this right here on the kickoff.
Obviously, that scouting report has made its way up to Northern Lehigh.
Pretty good kick right there.
Considering. It's going to be Suchak, and Suchak gets it to about the 41-yard line, and he gets walloped.
So they gained a yard plus a couple of Band-Aids on that one.
Right.
Tariq Thigpen in on the stop that time for Aliquippa. Also over there was going to be Xavier Henry.
You see Jake's service so far, 8 carries for 68 yards, a couple of touchdowns.
He's got 1 touchdown today.
Yeah.
The other goes to Fulweiler.
That's right. Fulweiler with 1, service with the other.
Not sure that ball didn't come out.
I was going to say, if it didn't, they're lucky to hold on to that.
I'll be interested to see this again. It looked like he got stripped. There's Fulweiler there.
So hard when you're running the option like this. You're putting the ball in the belly, you're bringing it out quick. With cold hands today, you're going to see a little bit more. Now let's take a look right here and see what happens. Ball's in there, just hold. I think he held on to it the last one. Made a good decision just to hang on.
Yeah, Wade did keep it. Picked up a yard.
Good surge by Willie Walker in the middle there to stop that play and jam it.
The end of the first quarter.
With our score 14-14, Darrell Revis has both Aliquippa touchdowns, an 89-yard kickoff return.
1982 as the basketball coach.
Yes, our first state final was in '82. We played in the state final game, and this is our second appearance, so I've kind of been involved in both. It's really exciting.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thank you
Great
very
job.
much.
Yeah, let's get back to the action.
And that crew did a fabulous job, led by Glenn right there on Friday night. We'll look back at that double overtime on Friday between Manheim and Pine Richland. Absolute epic football game. Everybody's talking about it around town yesterday. Still. Yeah, even around here in the stadium this morning. So a gain of 1, and Aliquippa now has Northern Lehigh in 3rd and 9. Here comes Surface. He's hit from behind. Tackle is made by Darrell Revis.
And Revis all over the place so
Here's
far.
the second overtime. And this is Sean Wilt coming in to save the day for Manheim Central and block the extra point by Humes. And that sent the Barons to their first state championship. But you could paint both of those trophies gold for the effort Pine Richland put in. Manheim Central survived.
Revis is trying today, but I'm not sure anyone had a greater 5 minutes than Sean Wilt ever had the other night with the touchdown catch, and he separated the ball away from Walker there at the end and then comes in and gets the block.
Here's Washington, who's had trouble holding on to the ball. This time does, but gets knocked down immediately by Frank Noss again, 5'10" junior. And here comes Aliquippa on offense.
They kicked it away from Darrell Revis, and that's one of those situations that doesn't make you scratch your head. But Michael Washington certainly is not the easiest guy to corral. Nice job there by Nas, but Washington, one of those sprinters on the state qualifying 4x100 relay team for Aliquippa.
-5 rushing for Aliquippa, which is about in line with what Northern Lehigh has done, but the two big plays by Revis has them in the football game. Hand off to the fullback that time, Jeter, nothing doing.
Friday night's game, and they've had a little bit to say with a 14-14 tie here.
Both touchdowns coming off really special team situations here for Aliquippa.
Gilliam throws, circus catch by Revis for a gain of about 5 to about the 36-yard line.
Wow.
He was falling down.
Like a one-man highlight film here so far this afternoon.
And in spite of the fact that he has 2 returns for touchdowns, that might be the highlight so far.
Look at his catch.
Quick slant, and
it's a one-hand. He keeps his hand underneath it and makes the catch. Unbelievable.
Patrick just runs into a wave of white that time. There's just nowhere to go. First guy to lead the way for Northern Lehigh was Aaron Bortz. Also Suchak, their leading interceptor, with 6. There he is.
You know, you forget about Patrick coming in this game. 165 rushes this year for 1,040 yards.
There's Washington with a kick. Suchak runs it down, trying to get a handle on it, and then sliced down to the 16-yard line. The tackle is made by Gerard Littlejohn of Aliquippa.
There's a flag on the
flag down.
Yeah.
Wait and see what we have.
He might be picking it up. Here we go.
No foul.
So bad field position for the first time in this game for Northern Lehigh, as they will start now from their own 17.
We heard Mike Zambelli talk about the place kicking difficulty, but certainly Michael Washington did a nice job on that punt.
Going directly into the teeth of the wind now is Northern Lehigh with 8:47 to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, we're wondering if there are too many players on the field for Northern Lehigh. Wade keeps it. Either way, Aliquippa had that one covered. They were.
Marquet Riggins, 25 from his defensive end position.
It's going to be Fulweiler, and he dives forward for about 1 or 2 yards, and that is about it. Tackle is made for Aliquippa in there by Tommy Campbell.
Aliquippa just so quick. I mean, that sounds like the simple phrase of the day, but they are. And they get to the ball, they flock to the ball, they run to the ball, as Coach Tack was telling us the other week. They just like to run to the ball quickly, and that's, when you got quickness, that's what you do. Sharks to a feeding frenzy.
Forbes is also in on that stop for the Quips, so 3rd and 9 now for Northern Lehigh. This is Fulweiler, short of the first down, but gets it across the 20 to about the 23-yard line, a gain of 5, but they're going to be forced to punt.
Revis wasn't in on the play that time, but he did a really nice job of taking away the outside, contained it to the inside, and let his mates do the job. We talk all the time about Northern Lehigh, and rightly so, with their really, really tremendous defense. But Aliquippa all season long has been a bend and don't break, and so far they've played pretty well.
Here again, you're kicking into the wind.
Pretty good kick considering. I mean, it didn't look great going off his foot, but it depends on where they mark it.
I think it went out about the 35.
Might be up further than that. Where are they going with this thing?
Well, he's coming back further now. Looks like we're coming back to the 32, to the 30.
In the meantime, we'd love to hear from you. Viewer comments on our exclusive live coverage this weekend of the 2003 PIAA Championships. Delighted to be with you for the 16th anniversary year of the PIAA Football Championships. Gilliam throws, got a man. Wide open is Desmond Patrick, and he slams inside the 20, down to the 18-yard line, a gain of 12. And a first down for Aliquippa.
Did a nice job that time of clearing Michael Washington, put him in motion and cleared him deep and cleared out that area underneath, and then just a nice little short pass and let you go one-on-one, and that's what they do. Watch this.
Watch Dante Patrick, though. It looks like he's expecting to get hit right there. That's how good or that's how much respect they have for the Northern Lehigh defense, but a good strong run at the end.
Yes, Dante Patrick knocked Desmond there on the catch.
Patrick does. They do such a nice job of getting you out there and just letting you go one-on-one underneath zones, underneath the man-to-man coverage.
Big hole for Dante Patrick, and he slides forward to the 10-yard line, and he's got 8 more. That's his best run of the day, and that's the best thrust for the Aliquippa offensive line. Paris Cobb, Kalen Mills, Donnie McKenzie, the tight end, Jimmy Brown, and Javon Pratt.
You'll see on the replay, good push by the offensive line, and there's that P word again, patience by Dante Patrick. Did a nice job waiting for the hole to open up and slid through.
Good credits to Forbes back there, too, for a great block to help spring him.
Patrick goes forward this time, not much there. We're going to put a camera on Craig Plotzko. We haven't talked about him much. 5 and 4 down country. Here's Patrick's got the first down as he slides it to the 6.
Talked about Plotzko, comes in with 54 solo tackles, 37 assists, 8 sacks. Patrick on the other side has an interesting story too. He came into the season as a number 2 running back. Got a brother, Vashon, and here you see him again going over that left side. He has been fantastic so far. Older brother Vashon is a defensive back at Kent State.
Good job that time. Lead block by DJ Jeter and a seal on the inside by 52. That's Paris Cobb.
Plotzko still fought off both to make the tackle. 1st and goal to go. Here's Patrick tripped up. Lucky to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
So he just fell down to his own that time.
Take a look. He may have tripped over Shavonte Gilliam. Oh, there's the run for the first down, and there's the run right there. Yeah, he got clipped by Gilliam.
Now they just tripped over his own feet.
Patrick came in with 1,040 yards. 2nd and goal now for Aliquippa at the 6-yard line. Revis looking for his 3rd touchdown, showing a little power. This time they hold on for dear life. It was surface from behind. Wouldn't let him go forward, but he does get all the way down to about the 2 on forward progress.
Donnell McKenzie, the tight end, did a great job of standing up the man on the outside that time. You'll see a good block on the right side. Watch McKenzie, number 88 over here on the right. Doing a great job right there, holding in, trying to get a little bit of a hole to get through.
They actually marked him down at the 1-yard line. You mentioned the power, and I think that might be a little surprising to some people, Jed.
I have to include myself in there. Here's Revis looking for a block to the outside, and he's in again. We love these guys that don't panic. Just shows great eyes, great patience. Right to the corner, and Aliquippa leads for the first time at 20-14. But there is a flag down, and they're going to take the touchdown away from Aliquippa. It's an illegal shift penalty coming against the Quips.
There's a guy that doesn't panic too quickly either, Coach Mianic. He just does a nice job of kind of everything's under control. We're going to do all right here, guys.
Illegal shift. 2 men moving as the man went in motion. 5-yard previous spot. 3rd down. Repeat 3rd down.
That'll take it all the way back to about the 6-yard line for Aliquippa. That takes 6 points off the board. That really hurts.
We've seen what we expected, though. Mike Schmianik said that he was going to run the football, pass the football, and do all of it out of just about every formation they have.
Play action. Gilliam, who can run as well if he can find an opening, comes through to about the 2-yard line. So they're going to be 4th and short, and they're definitely going to go, because if they don't make it, they have Northern Lehigh backed up into the face of their own end zone.
Everybody keyed on Revis that time. You watch the whole defense freeze for a moment with Revis, and then Gilliam goes around the corner. Good job of selling here by Gilliam, and then goes. Sets up for the pass, freezes the defense for a moment, then takes off for the goal line.
Actually, Wada staying home may have saved a touchdown that time, as you see on the replay. He's number 7. He stayed home, and that forced Gilliam back inside, and they got him before he could score. So Aliquippa will call a touchdown. We're going to look at Plotsko. We talked about this young man as 5'6", 165 pounds.
Here you see him again. Look at that quickness. The ability to penetrate, holds a man off on one side, brings down a tackle on the other. What makes him so tough is he's a tough target to get at. He gets low, and he's hard to get on, and so he gets down low. He's almost like a little bulldog himself, kind of springing forward.
He also makes a read and goes. He doesn't hesitate, and a lot of times that proactive nature is going to help you a lot. This has been so far a 9-play drive and close to 4 minutes run off the clock by Aliquippa. I think that's as surprising as anything else.
We want to thank all the participating cable systems across Pennsylvania for their support in bringing the 2003 PIAA Class AA Football Championships on PCN. PCN, Pennsylvania's championship network. There's Mike Schmianik. Now, what does he have up his sleeve on 4th and goal from the 2? Let's have a look.
Full house backfield, and then Forbes in motion. Why not?
Revis, touchdown, the other side. Well, that shows a lot of grit and determination. They come back from the penalty that took it back to the 6-yard line, and they get it in.
They put Forbes in motion to that side, and Forbes does a great job of blocking up front. And I think he really sealed the man off well in the corner that time to get Revis into the end zone.
And from up top, it looks to us like there's pretty good flow towards the football. And the deceptive speed of Darrell Revis, deceptive when you see him. It just doesn't look like he's running that fast. And the fact of the matter is, as we've seen 3 times today, he sure is.
Forbes did a great job of occupying. Pete waited right to the last moment when Revis stepped into the end zone.
And as Mike said, we'll expect them to go for 2 about after every touchdown because of the lack of confidence they have in their kicking game. Gilliam, little play action, throwing, and it's behind the intended receiver, DJ Jeter, incomplete.
If he held on to it about a half-second longer, Jeter would have turned around and been looking for it. As it was, just as he was turning his head, it hit him in the helmet.
Jeter didn't look like he was really ready to catch that one.
Yeah.
He was just not looking at that, at least at that point in the play.
Let's check in with Mike Zambelli right now, and Mike's down on the field. We'll be able to see Mike and Jim Wells coming up here at halftime. Mike, what do you got? 5'10" junior. He'll have the wind to his back. This is Craig Plotsko. We were just talking about him on defense, showing some pretty good hands, and he goes out of bounds. And Northern Lehigh goes on offense with it 1st and 10 at their own 33-yard line.
I haven't experienced that often, and that's playing from behind.
Springfield Monco had 14 points against. They only give up 47 points all year coming into this game.
Surface, Revis first man there, and then got help from his friends. The black shirts just crawled all over Surface after he got back to the line of scrimmage.
Talk about surging to the ball. We're seeing 3 and 4 black shirts to the ball every time. They are so quick getting to the football.
We mentioned that there's only about 300 passing yards by Northern Lehigh. I'm certain that Mike Śmianek in their preparation for this game has certainly past defensive schemes in there, but when you know the other team relies on the run about 90% of the time, I think it makes it a little bit easier to make some of your reads because you know that they're going to be running the football.
As Wade does out of the shotgun, and there's just nowhere for him to go as they're just jamming 8-9 guys into the box because the two corners, Revis and Washington, they're just kind of coming in and helping out on run support here.
Well, we've already seen what happens when you're throwing into the wind right now, and of course Wade coming into the game only threw for 366 yards all year. So what do you got to do? You got to do this. You got to run, and Aliquippa knows it, and they are packing him into the box, as you mentioned, Jed.
Forbes with the first hit, and then Kalen Mills, 75, cleans things up.
Also in there, Steve, was Shamar Jones, a 260-pound, two-gap senior in that defensive line for Aliquippa. Here's the double handoff, and it comes away for Gill, and Gill just not much room to operate. You see 44 out there, William Forbes. He's got to be in an 11 or 12 tackles in this opening half, and Aliquippa will use a timeout to get the ball back here. 4th down and 5, and Northern Lehigh is going to have to punt.
9 guys in the box that time, and they all stayed. Nobody's moving. Good discipline by the Aliquippa defense. You got to be really impressed so far. Watch this. Misdirection. They're all staying right there waiting for him. They know what's coming.
Coming up next here on PCN, the Pennsylvania Cable Network, Pennsylvania's championship network, a much anticipated Quad A final. Nationally ranked North Penn
was in on the tackle. He got pushed from behind by one of the offensive linemen, and Gilliam answered back with a push. Mike Śmianek went out at the beginning, or Śmianek at the beginning of that timeout. The first thing he did, he got right in Shavonte Gilliam's face and said, "Look, none of that. We don't need any of it." He's still talking to him down on the sidelines.
There's your Coach Tack over on the far side. Got to be a little concern on his part right now. Again, you're trying to kick into the wind here.
He almost got another one.
Be careful.
Pretty good kick considering he is kicking into a 15 to 20 mile an hour wind that time. That was Josh Ziegler. There he is.
19-yard punt. We'll take a look. Nearly blocked.
He almost got a piece of this. I'll tell you, just missed it.
That was Gerard Littlejohn. The other interesting thing, a nice little tweak by Mike Śmianek, is that he had Darrell Revis as the up back about 20 yards in front of Michael Washington, just in case it held up in the wind.
There's Shavonte Gilliam. He's got 3 wide receivers. They're going to dump it off to Washington, who's got some room to operate. Washington picks his way for a gain of 8 or 9, and he may have lost the ball again, and he does, and Northern Lehigh's got it with 1:12 remaining. Another turnover at Suchak on the recovery for Northern Lehigh.
And this has been the bane of Aliquippa in the first half, not being able to handle the ball. As you see Tackett pick it up, 45, Plotsko in there. Take a look at this. What they like to do, throw it out in the flat, let you go one-on-one, use the athleticism, and watch this. There it is, great strip right there. Saw it stripped by Tackett.
He just dropped the ball.
Picked up by Plotsko.
It's Plotsko on there. Good work by our camera crew, as always. Solini, not much in there. Make that Fullweiler. Fullweiler lost about 3 or 4 more yards.
Shavonte Gilliam on the tackle. Forbes in there as well. You would guess that Mike Śmianek is going to say a couple of things to his players on the way in, and I'm not going to say hold on to the football. I'm going to say run north and south, because they have enough speed that they can pick up 5 or 6 yards as opposed to trying to make the big play. And with that speed, who knows, they might be able to break a couple. The dancing and the juking hasn't worked so far.
There's Fullweiler just straight ahead.
To the 49, a gain of 4.
Looks like that's going to be the last play of the first half.
I think Jim Tack wants to regroup in the locker room at this point in time. They're going to reset it, and that will be it. They seem to be up. They're going to call timeout now.
And the guy on the other side of the field is not too bad at that either.
Mike
Look at the smile. See what I'm telling you?
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit of sight going on right now, a little chess.
They're going to throw with Gill. Throws it off his back foot, and it's intercepted by Revis. Always an interesting way. He's got pretty good lane if he can get one more block, and Fulweiler puts that fire out all the way near the 37-yard line.
How about that for an appropriate exclamation point at the end of the half for the guy who was Mr. Everything the entire first half?
Darn fine play by Darrelle Revis. Great angle by Fulweiler. Just an outstanding angle. If he takes that, 1 yard closer, we're looking at another score because there was no one who was going to catch Darrelle Revis. Fulweiler, a nice tackle on that.
Mike Sambell and Jim Wells will be with you here at halftime as we look at Darrelle Revis, who's got a kickoff return of 89 yards, a block field goal return of 66 yards, and a conventional touchdown run of 2 yards. And Aliquippa leads as we come to the half in this AA championship, 20-14. You're watching exclusive live coverage. This is the AA championship, PCN, the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
Straight at that 6. Yeah, I agree. Because the corner's up and the safety's back. That's right. It's right there. That safety's not going to read it. Yeah, there's no run support. I think we need to come across. We need to show no cross.
Before they run back, they're going to come back to all that okey doke shit. They'll come back to all that okey doke shit.
And you know what? They see how you come out the corner real quick. They're gonna be.
Ain't nothing wrong because he's breathing up the corner. That's the difference. He's breathing up the corner. He's breathing up the corner. Okay. Which is good. All right, now, regular personnel. I want to look at England to the strong side, or to whatever side they might be going in that thing. If they go in motion, all you do is bump the eagle over. So if they're strong to the tight end side, and we got one guy in the middle, and the other guy's at the eagle, then if he goes in motion, okay, if you gonna do that in the eagle and they go in motion, then all you gotta do is go around. I don't know what's in with all that space. All right? We need read them up. We need to stop them. We need to make a stop. They got to win, but they make a stop. But like I said, they got to throw the ball. That's not our advantage. You got to close that down. Because you're getting so much support from your ends and your linebackers, all you got to do is make sure you reduce that running lane. You don't necessarily backfield. The tight end of the seam and the back coming off the seam with them. That's why we got to be in fifths in that. That'll be that full-house backfield with an end over. We got to be in fifths in that. And even the regular personnel, you stay in the middle now. You stay in the middle. That regular personnel.
Crack back is key. That guy's going to close it out. So when I come out, throw right. I'll tell you, throw right. Special. I might even come out slot left special and get them shifted that way first. Slot left special, option 4-6, keep. It's a crackback for everybody. You got to hit it in there really soft, to make them close down. Okay? Another thing I want to come back with, pat the tail back here, is hit this 4-8, but we got to hit it off the edge. Hit that right off the edge. We're reaching here. He's killing this.
Yes, he is.
Pat, you can't do inside that. So hit it off the edge. Hit it off the edge. On right now. Okay? Those are a couple. We want to hit the traps off the edge.
They do that twisting,
All the time. Are they playing Darrell the same way, or are they rolling up on him?
same way.
Stand up, throw the ball. Look for the ball. Do I got to take the clothes off you or what? How much shit I got to do? Those are there. Can we sprint out? Can we get outside of them on the sprint out? Yeah. If we get outside of them on the sprint out, I know it was a long yardage. That wasn't a terrible throw. I'm not going to call that a long yardage. But let's sprint out, and you got the corner. Run the ball.
He can run it.
I'm telling you right now.
You can run it.
We can get on the perimeters on. They can't.
You can run it.
Not with a safety back like that.
They can't step with it. Now, I also want to run these counters with Darrell. Look like you hit somebody after the play, that flag is going to fly, I guarantee it. Don't do anything to hurt yourself. The play's over. Pushing somebody like that doesn't hurt him at all. Fuck, do one of these. Go ahead, hit me if you want to, but don't do that shit. You already proved that you're just as tough, if not tougher than they are. We already know that. Don't do shit after the whistle. Keep playing football the right way. We're going to keep doing the same things we're doing, except I want to hit some crossbuck traps off the 6 hole. I want to run a couple sprint out passes.
4, 5.
Oh, yeah, Mark wants to run, that's what he wants to run. 4-14 trap, you want to block it like that.
Yep.
To the tight end side. There's a 6 hole and the 4 hole on some traps here in the second half. And we're going to hit it off the edge with some 4-8 power. Open it up stronger on their defense. All right, or
All right.
all right, they're a little bit stronger than they're on the other side. That's what I thought too. That's what I thought too. Hey, you got 24 minutes. Come on, you got 24 minutes.
Sean, if you just boot the ball down to the 10, give us a shot. Down to 10 to give us a shot.
I tried to tackle right over. I could have got it. I walked away from that. Keep it up. Keep it up. Come on, Gil. Keep running.
Of course, participants in the Colonial League, for those of you familiar with the Lehigh Valley Conference, they are 14-0, and you see the teams they played: Saucon Valley, Penn Argyl, a 4-straight-year champion, and a team that was in the 2001 finals a couple of years ago in 2A. Southern Lehigh, a terrific year. Bangor, Wilson Borough, Salisbury Palisades having their best season in years. Northwestern, a program that they battled, of course, throughout the year. And the Quips, of course, coming out of the WPIAL and a terrific year. You look at their year, and it's at 13-1. Ambridge, Freeport, Elwood City, Freedom, Beaver. Against Beaver Falls, and it was interesting to hear Coach Smianek talk about that maybe being a rallying cry and really a defining moment in this year's season.
And you also heard, Mike, that Coach Smianek said the fact that, you know, he thought this might be a little bit too young for this team to be here. A lot of juniors in that lineup, a lot of sophomores, but that's the thing. He said that Beaver Falls game is what turned around. They came to practice the next week, focused, didn't even bother them that they got whipped pretty good by Beaver Falls there in that 33-18 loss.
Quip started the season ranked number 4 in the state of Pennsylvania, and they, of course, have not disappointed, beating Slippery Rock last week 28-15 to advance here to the championship game. They, of course, are in the titled contest for the 4th time. In 1988, they lost to Berwick. In 91, they won it all, beating Hanover. And, of course, 2000, a couple of years ago, lost to Mount Carmel in the championship game. Take a look now at the standings for each of these two teams in their respective leagues. And we will start once again with Northern Lehigh in the Colonial League. And this is a good 12-team circuit, Jim, and we've talked about it. We did a lot of coverage, both you and I, on this, and to finish at 10-0 in that conference was quite a feather in the cap for Jim Tack and his program.
Exactly, Mike. Week in and week out, you had Notre Dame there. That's in that second spot, a big resurgence this year, and gave everybody, you know, fits all.
Obviously in the Section 3, and they, of course, were a co-champion along with Beaver. Beaver, the only team to beat Aliquippa, that, of course, coming during the regular season, but the Quips were able to rebound and run the table to this point of the season.
Well, that's what happens a lot of times, Mike. When you go through the season and you play a team and then you come back and regroup, and that loss, and I know coaches will give you that famous line that, you know, you never get anything that much out of a loss. We don't want to lose, but I think that loss in the Quip's favor this year, as Beaver came back to beat them, and Beaver Falls gave them that big game, and that Beaver's, you know, on the second place spot, gave all they could handle as well. But they did a nice job this year coming through that section there.
Well, I tell you, and again, Coach Smianek, I talked to him about his keys to the game prior to the game. He said, stop the run. Number one, they've done okay with that here through the first half. He said, we must be able to throw the ball. That they haven't been able to accomplish. But I did also ask him, and I asked him if he watched Friday with the weather and the elements. I said, are you surprised at the amount of offense, and you surprised at the amount of points? And he said, absolutely. He says, I just hope I can get a share of that here this afternoon. And I think as we check into the highlights here a little bit, he certainly has gotten a share of the offense, 20 points in the first half.
Exactly. Not like he thought he would get, Mike, I'm sure, off those special team situations. But the fact is he'll take them any way he can get them. And, you know, his passing game hasn't really gotten in gear, and that's the thing he's probably going to address at halftime.
Well, we start, first of all, with Northern Lehigh. The decision to win the toss, defer to the second half, paid dividends with them getting out to the quick lead.
Fullweiler again's got a block.
They had the best of the field position and took advantage of it.
They did, and you see number 42 there, Kai Fullweiler, doing a great job you know, he's defensively or offensively, he does a great job for them.
Well, and defensively, this has been a big story for this program all year long. Keep in mind, they gave up 20 points in the half, but only one touchdown by that defense. And what can you say about number 31, Craig Plotzko? I heard the guys up in the booth saying about 165 pounds. I'll tell you what, I'll bring out a scale. He's not tipping it at $165.
No, you're right, Mike, and I'll tell you what, and all these other guys have really jumped to the forefront. Number 34 along there with him, you know, that's a situation that he is just, you know, between those guys that have been inside stripping the ball and doing those things all afternoon. That's been the case, you know, for a while. They've been doing the good running, but there's been a lot of guys that have been in there stripping the ball, doing a good job inside.
But, Jim, I think there have to be some concern for Coach Tack. You've forced 4 turnovers. You've come up with 4 turnovers. You've had a good defensive first half, but yet you're still down here at the half.
I think he's really got to address those situations on special teams, Mike. Talking about.
Well, you talk about special teams, you talk about speed, and I heard, I think it was Coach Bowen up in the booth talking about this Revis. It doesn't look like he's putting a lot of effort into his run, and it doesn't. He's one of those guys that has that athletic ability, that speed, and he glides. It just does it effortlessly out there on the field. We had a good example, and here's an alert play on his part.
Right, he blocked that with his foot, Mike, and then he goes 66 yards after picking it up, and then that first touchdown, he went 89 yards untouched on that kickoff return. So he's been able to really use his speed, use his athletic ability, and here you see this was a good big 4th down play here as he goes around that end for a 2-yard run on a 10-play drive. So he's done an excellent job of scoring from all different angles today.
Well, and look for them to try and get him the football, obviously a lot more in this second half, as you know, he certainly has been a weapon that Northern Lehigh has had a tough time controlling, and I just really think that those 2 plays really picked them up when it wasn't really going their way. Cold here this afternoon. You look for...
Here we see the special teams, and talk about special.
Darrell Revis, who, Gary, goes 89 yards, and as you can see, he just doesn't look like he's going full speed, but there's no way of catching this young man.
Well, no one else is faster, so he's in cruise control. And here you see a great block over there on the good wall. And Devon Jeter, we saw there kind of pushing the inside, and then it makes it easy, and Revis just heads on home. And then we see the block by Revis later on. He says, well, why not pick it up and run it back again? It looks like a replay of what we saw before.
This is 69 yards, and you can see him coming right off the edge here, Stephen. He just kicked it right into him.
He did. It was a kind of a high snap, but Wada did a nice job, and that's just Darrell Revis doing what Darrell Revis does, picking it and going.
Well, Northern Lehigh got off pretty early. Here's Mike Washington. He was stripped, and then the double handoff, and Jake Surface goes in for the score from 6 yards out. And that gave Northern Lehigh the lead, and that's something that they've enjoyed much of the year. And then, of course, Revis again. This is the kickoff return, the ensuing kickoff return, going 89 yards with that, and just a fabulous move again.
And then here's Fulweiler on the pitch. Great blocking on the outside with the seal, and he does a nice job.
That's his 16th touchdown of the season.
We're going to see now there's an interception, and this leads to the short field, and this, you know, this could have made it 17-7. Instead, it's 14-14 thanks to the blocked field goal and run back by Revis.
And Revis has been all that, and you can see he's catching the ball as good a 5-yard catch as you're ever going to want to see. A circus catch right there, and then he goes in. That's after they had a penalty. Wipe out another run by Revis, and they went in on 3rd and goal from their own 6-yard. And let's have a look at some of the stats. Northern Lehigh gives up yards begrudgingly. Only 19 in the first half for Aliquippa, Gary.
And what's interesting, too, you look at the turnovers in the first half, you'd think these 3 turnovers right here for Aliquippa would wipe them out. Not so. Aliquippa's managed to weather that storm because they've done such a great job on special teams, blocking punts, running back kickoffs, and that's really been the gig so far. You know, look at the numbers over here. You think, we only got 19 rushing yards in the first half. We're a running team. We ought to be down. They're up by 6 points here at the half.
And I think the one thing that has to be a concern for Northern Lehigh, they were down 1 score last week, trailing for the first time all year against Lakeland in the Eastern Final. But if they get...
Coach told me, he said, thank God for Darrell Revis. He says that's what his thoughts of the first half. I said, what'd you tell your team? He said, we have to stop the extracurricular and play a smart second half. Back to you.
Well, again, the 3 turnovers by Aliquippa only led to 7 points. They're fortunate there.
Yeah, 3 turnovers, only 19 yards rushing, and you're still up.
Suchak with it. Pretty good hole, and that time just runs it right up in the lane and gets it all near the 40-yard line.
Tackle on the play, 31, John Baldwin for the Quips. Also, number 30, Eddie Carter.
In the first half, Northern Lehigh all year long.
Surface. Bangs forward for about 3 or 4 yards. You can see how tough he is. Look at him just move that pile close to the 45-yard line.
It'll be interesting to see if Northern Lehigh can put together a sustained drive. The only sustained drive that we had in the first half was the 3rd touchdown by Aliquippa. We'll see a hard run by Jake Surface because he's hit right there, and that's only about a yard past the line of scrimmage. Rumbles for 4 more, but Northern Lehigh played really well with the short field. Let's see what they do with the longer field.
This is a key quarter because they will play with the wind at their back. Fumbled snap, and who got it back?
I think it was Fulweiler.
They actually gain about 2 yards on that. So Fulweiler on the spot. He's a 6'1" sophomore for Northern Lehigh. Here you see Tyler Tack, and there's Jim Tack. That's his son out there playing tight end for Northern Lehigh.
Look over there. His older son's name is Bo, who's named after Bo Schembechler.
3rd and 3. Wada, he can run and keep it himself. He has over 700 yards rushing on the year, and he runs for the first down to the Aliquippa 46-yard line. And a gain of 7 by number 7, the quarterback.
Take a look at downfield here. You're getting some great blocks down the field here. As you see number 88 heading on down there. That's Aaron Bortz. And number 44 as well. Jake Surface doing a good job blocking. Stop right there. You'll see the blocks to the inside right here. And that's going to open up this little hole right in here. And they get weighted to the outside. We talked about getting to the outside a little bit more, and it paid some dividends in this play.
Marquet Riggins on the tackle for Aliquippa.
Wow, look at Donnell McKenzie come from his defensive end spot. Just came flying from the other side. There he is. Loss of a half a yard.
Right here, you're going to take a look on the left side. Right here is McKenzie, and he's going to come right across. Now watch this, coming straight up through and just get out of the way.
Boy.
6'2", 220-pound junior was flying forward, and a loss of a half a yard there. Heavy pressure, it's intercepted. A flag does come down as Revis trying to find some openings. Still going. There are flags all over the place as Revis tracks it back to the Northern Lehigh 46. But I'm not sure how all of this is going to separate itself out.
The first one's going to be interference, and it could be an offensive interference call.
So Dennis Beck, who's our referee for this game, has a lot to work with here.
Every 5 steps he takes is a yellow handkerchief.
There's one at the 49, another at the 44, and the first one was up near the 38-yard line. They've since picked that one up.
Boy, and it's tough to tell from anybody's body language
who may or may not.
The pass, we had a block below the waist on the offense. Prior to the interception, we had a defensive hold. They will all set each other. Replay, 2nd down.
Oof. So Aliquippa takes the brunt of these penalties on the offsetting penalties.
Yeah, they do.
So they have Tommy Campbell for the hold defensively for Aliquippa.
Take a look at this. You're going to see the hold right here. Watch.
That's
right
42 right there. You got it, Gary.
You have the hold there.
So they'll redo 2nd and 11 now at the 47-yard line of Aliquippa after all of that, and that wipes out the Revis interception.
Good officiating, better camera work.
First man through is going to be Fulweiler, and he takes it to about the 44, a tough gain of 3. So they're looking at 3rd and 8 coming up.
It's way too early to say this is a crucial down, but I just think for momentum's sake coming out of halftime, this is a pretty big play coming up. More so, I think, for the Aliquippa defense, because if they can stop them here, I think that gives them a huge boost the rest of the way.
I think also the way the wind is playing into this, with the wind at Northern Lehigh's back, that I think it just adds importance to this particular drive. Pass intended for Gill, and that was well covered.
And again, Marquez Riggins, 25, has made 2 big plays so far here in the third quarter. One to knock Wada out of bounds, and that time good pressure on the quarterback, making him throw early.
Well, even better pressure on the other side. Watch, he's got the pressure right here, and then you have guys staying at home on the other side, smelling out the screen. So, I mean, everybody doing their job defensively and staying very disciplined in their lanes.
So Northern Lehigh forced to punt. Coming on is going to be Josh Ziegler.
A nice coffin corner look there.
Nass downs it at about the 6-yard line. Well, that's just what they wanted right there. Pin Aliquippa deep in their own territory. They've got to go against the wind. They've got the end zone pretty much at their back. Mike Szmianek knows this is a big trip coming up.
But they also played very well defensively in that series. And again, I just think that's important for them to play well defensively when Northern Lehigh has a longer field.
Thanks to everyone involved in today's state finals, and a big thank you as well to the cable companies that carry the Pennsylvania Cable Network, bringing sights and sounds of the 2003 PIAA Class AA Football Championships to millions of Keystone residents. Ball officially at the 7. Gilliam going to keep it himself, and there's that defense. Northern Lehigh again, they have so much confidence, and there's Fulweiler again on the stop, and also in there for Northern Lehigh is Bortz.
Going to get great line surge here by Northern Lehigh, but you're also going to get Gilliam hanging onto the ball too long in the option here, and it really takes his momentum away and almost throws him backward. Watch this, he holds it right in. Now watch him pull back, and he just can't get it cleanly, and the line surge gets him to the outside. On the play brings up 2nd down and 12.
Gilliam under pressure does get it away, and it's almost intercepted. That ball touched a lot of hands before it finally fell incomplete.
Well, Gilliam so far having problems with the handoff in the first one, making a bad decision on the throw in the second one, and right now Mike Szmianek wants to make sure 3rd down's not quite so exciting. Watch this, not a good decision. Well, actually pretty good pressure too on the backside as well. So number 45, Tyler Tack, getting in there and getting his hand right around the arm that time of Gilliam.
And are they going to have illegal substitution? Because there was still time left on the clock.
To the snap, lined up in the neutral zone on the offense.
We're going to take a look right here. There you are. Hands are right across there in front of the football, and there's a football in behind the line. Can't believe it. They're going to try to throw it. Going to have safety here if we're not careful.
Does get it out of the end zone, and hurriedly and very frighteningly to the 3-yard line.
That Mike Szmianek, he just aged about 10 years on those 3 plays.
I was going to say that collective sigh of relief came from everybody who's cheering for Aliquippa.
And now the kicking game into the wind. I mean, this 4th play is not going to be any less exciting.
Well, this is just what they wanted. They needed a stop down here defensively, and that's what they got. A defense that has just some incredible numbers.
That's a heck of a kick.
Suchak going to start it back the other way. Does have a wall, needs 1 block, and now he may be gone. He's got a wall in front to the 10, to the 5, touchdown. Suchak picks it in from 41 yards. And Northern Lehigh has tied the game and a chance to take the lead on the conversion.
It's a game of field position. It's a game of win. It's a game of not making mistakes. And it's a game of taking advantage of opportunities. We saw it all come together in a convergence on that play.
You can throw in a pretty nifty block at the 40. We'll see it coming up. I didn't catch the number, right? 74 for Northern Lehigh.
Jim Kern.
Just Not a huge block, not one of those ones that's going to shake someone's feelings, but it's going to make the crowd cheer awfully big.
Kick is blocked by Washington. He just came in and just smacked it down. Wow. They just have not had an answer for Aliquippa trying field goals or extra points off the edge.
Boy.
And Jim Tack is like, no, that's a big point there. We're tied at 20.
We said it the other night in the Pine Ridgeland Manheim Central game, trying to momentum changes. It's amazing.
Let's go down to Mike Zambelli. Mike?
I'm going to pick up on that exact point, guys. The ebbs and flows of this football game are absolutely unbelievable. I'm here on the Aliquippa sidelines. They go from that Gilliam run was the greatest 5-yard run I've ever seen in my life out of the end zone. They had a high, the punt return, the block kick. It is just amazing, the ebbs and flows and the emotional highs and lows of this football game.
And as we looked at it again, Surface, give him credit because he just pulled right off. All right, here we go with some of the plays here in this third quarter. And here's the play that Gilliam going down. And there's Fullweiler again.
This is the second down coming up where he almost gets that intercepted. Third down coming. He almost gets tackled in the end zone. Manages to finally get out to about the 3-yard line. And then we come to fourth down in this horrendous series. If you're an Aliquippa fan, watch the block here by Shamel Harris, number 50, and he hits it, and that helps to lead to the touchdown return.
Dante Patrick with it. Patrick can't stay on his feet, and down he goes at the 34-yard line.
He was one finger away from breaking that back to the outside, and it was 31 for Northern Lehigh who got the finger in there. Craig Plotzko.
Well, here comes the block again. Boy, we've seen enough of these this weekend to last for a lifetime, right?
Here's Washington. He just walked right through the Scott Snyder block, and
Snyder went down. They actually had number 2 coming to the outside there, Darrell Revis on the outside. You had to take your choice of whether you wanted Revis to come around the corner or Washington to kind of slice through.
quick handoff. Patrick, nothing there. Hit and drop. Gorst on the stop for Northern Lehigh.
It's so tough up there. It just goes face on face with you.
And Kevin Wetzel, my mistake. Wetzel 6'2", 250.
He did the same mistake I did. I looked down there on the old sun shining down there. That 6 the way it shines on an 8.
So it's Wetzel who fought through the double team that time to stop that for no gain.
For the Wetzel family, we don't dislike him. He's made 2 great plays that we missed this afternoon so far. Porch is pretty good too, though, on the other side. Here's what they do. Here's where they spread you out. You're going to see a short pass in the flat, I think.
I believe that's a live ball behind the line of scrimmage, and Washington is lucky to get back there in time.
Well, Washington was smart to jump back on. He realized what was happening. It was a live ball, and he got right on top of it right away. Didn't play around with it. They love to get the ball in the flat and let you run, and they send out the trips that time and get Washington out there, not able to hang on to it.
Let's go down to Mike Zambelli. Mike?
Guys, you'll notice on the back of the Aliquippa helmets the initials RJ. RJ Abercrombie is a graduate of this school. He played on the 2000 team. He was tragically killed over the summer. They have not forgotten one of their own.
Great story right there, and here comes Gilliam. Little delayed draw to Patrick, and I think he got tripped up that time, and in on the stop is going to be Tyler Tack.
First time we've seen the delayed draw all afternoon from Aliquippa. I think it's a pretty good play, and it looked like it's set up pretty well there. He just tripped.
It is a pretty good call, and when you consider the ebbs and flows and the fact that the wind plays a big factor, I think this isn't necessarily a bad series for Aliquippa because nothing bad happened to them yet.
Except they got to kick it.
That's what I mean by the yet.
It just hangs in there. Suchik got crushed as he made the catch.
That was McKenzie, Donnell McKenzie.
How'd he hold on to that?
I'll tell you what, Suchik did a great job to hang on to that. Just good focus right there and getting ready to take the hit.
That might have been Polakovich in on the stop that time. He's a 6', 185-pound senior.
And as Steve said at the top of this half, that is where everybody has scored so far. And right now, you're looking at a Northern Lehigh team that has momentum and the wind at their back.
Gill can't hang on, and Revis makes him pay and gobbles him up back at the 38-yard line. A loss of 8 on the play.
Give credit to Mark A. Riggins, number 25 in this play, for forcing the pitch quicker than he wanted to make it out there.
He's done a really nice job of picking his spots, but he just flies in from his outside linebacker position. We'll see it right there.
See, Wader wants to wait a little bit longer to make that pitch, and I'll tell you what, Riggins did a great job. He's done that all afternoon so far.
Generous spot, takes the loss back to the 40, not the 38. That's where they say the knee went down. Here comes Surface, and there's just nothing in there. Donnell McKenzie in on the stop along with Revis.
McKenzie having a great third quarter so far, and you see McKenzie's ability to go laterally that time. Revis coming in to help out. Watch McKenzie. Here he is coming across right here. And watch him turn this play in right here at the end. He's fighting off the blocker, and then he and Revis bring him down at the end.
I think Kansas says, yeah, the basketball thing, that's now a definite promise. We'll allow that to occur.
What, McKenzie just took Caponero out of that play. I mean, Caponero was there and said, excuse me, I want to make a tackle here.
He's got offers from West Virginia, University of Pittsburgh, Marshall. He's really something. Wydra looks, passes, intercepted. This is McKenzie with it, and he takes it all the way back to the Northern Lehigh 37-yard line.
And Marquez Riggins is responsible for that interception. He did a marvelous job again, coming in from his linebacking position, beat two blockers, and really whacked Wader.
You know, they're trying to pass the ball down the middle of the field all day long, and every time they've done it, they have an interception or near interception. And here you have it again. This is where you draw it up if you're the defensive team. Tip it up in the air, and the guy behind you picks it off and take off.
William Forbes got a right hand on it, and then McKenzie takes it back to the 39. Good field position here for Aliquippa. They have taken good field position and have cashed in pretty much all afternoon. Here's Revis's first touch on offense, and you can see him explode to the 31, a gain of 8.
We talked the other night about getting Walker involved in Pine Ridge, and Revis is the same kind of player. You want to get him on at every opportunity offensively your team has. He plays quarterback every now and then. They haven't used that yet this afternoon, but here again they use him on a little end-around kind of look.
Watch, Fulweiler has a great shot, great angle at him, little limp leg right there, and a nice cut to the inside.
Again, his patience. He doesn't panic at all with all that traffic around him, and he just picks his hole and explodes up in there. Patrick this time. Ball is down. Ball is out. Still out. And let's see. I think Northern Lehigh has got it. I think climbing over there is Bortz. But we'll double check on the recovery. I believe it's Bortz at around the 37-yard line, and a huge turnover against Aliquippa that time as Patrick can't hang on.
And again, sustaining the momentum by anybody, but the game is enjoyable. Look at Patrick. Never gets the handle. Well, he did get the handle. We shouldn't say that.
Kevin Wetzel tipped it out. Bortz on the recovery for Northern Lehigh.
Watch this right here, getting the hand in there. Wetzel did a great job right there, just pushing the hand in there, punching. We've seen that about 4 times today so far. This team does as good a job of getting their hands on the ball as any team we've seen in the playoffs.
It was Surface who got the fumble recovery, and now that ball is out, and this is another wild scramble. And let's see, Northern Lehigh's been able to get back after some of their fumbles. That has not been the case with Aliquippa.
I think they actually gained a yard in this fumble.
And that's the second time they've gotten positive yardage out of a fumble recovery. There's Jim Tack talking things over with Wydra as quarterback, with Wader rather.
And this, he just never had the handle on that one. Surface trying to get the handle, never from start to finish on this one.
When the ball goes into the high traffic area, that's anybody's guess as to who comes out then. They're fortunate to get it back. Wader looking, throwing, incomplete. Coverage that time from Savante Gilliam. There's your score. We got another one going here, guys.
Jed, you said it at the top of the game, though, today. The secondary of Aliquippa you were most impressed by, and there's a good reason why today. They're so quick back there.
Here's Surface. Look at this effort, and look out. Here comes Surface. He's had a lot of yards, and here's the speed of Aliquippa. It's going to be Revis from behind to the 10-yard line. A gain of 51 yards for Surface all the way down to the Aliquippa 10.
Surface is blasting over that right side, right over LeBron, right over Kern. We'll take a look and see it all again. You see the pulling guard that time, number 75, Caponero, leading them out. There's Caponero, good block. Surface then just breaking loose and heading south. Here you see Caponero taking on the block. And Surface with a great spin move and getting down the field, breaking a couple tackles.
Well, no surprise that we were going to see him get loose sometime today. It was his fumble recovery that gave them this possession. Came in with 1,288 yards on the season. He had a ton of touchdowns. Fullweiler with it. Look at this effort. And he's just pushing to the 5-yard line.
Scrum.
Those types of runs have been few and far between, and Gary pointed it out earlier that trying to get outside, I don't think they necessarily have to stretch the field so much, but when they come tight outside of the tackle on either side, they seem to be able to use their cutback ability to find a hole quick and hit it hard, and that kind of counteracts the ability of the linebackers and cornerbacks to pursue.
What a big defensive stand this is. The ball at the 6. They can get a first down just inside the 1-yard line. Here's Jake Gill. Gill's got a hole. Gill's got a touchdown for Northern Lehigh as they go back in front.
What a block by Fullweiler to open Gill up. I mean, Fullweiler just opened it to the outside and let him have a lane. We'll see if we can get it here in a moment. What a block. Number 42 set the block on the outside. Watch this. Here's Fullweiler right there. You see it? Check it one more time if we can. But what a block. Just open that hole up for him. Hole.
It's Gill. Touchdown of the year, and the all-important extra point is good. And Northern Lehigh takes the lead 27-20.
Here we go. Now watch, you got number 42 leading out right here. Now watch this block that comes up right there. And that opens the hole, and then head on home, Mr. Gill.
But we'll also see 44 Surface get in a nice block. Maybe we won't get to see it against 88, and really well blocked up and down that line.
When you're a running football team, your blocking schemes have got to be crisp and disciplined. Take a look at the defense so far in this game. And we've talked about the turnovers this afternoon. Talk about getting your hands in on the ball. Another one coming up here. Picked off Fullweiler that time. We got a loss right there. And the last turnover that led to this touchdown right here. 4 turnovers we had in the first half alone.
Great job by everybody in that truck. I'll tell you, TV2, Service Electric, our guys have had to, they don't get to move around as we talked about Friday like the players. Stationary, and everybody's been raving about your work all weekend long as well. They should be, and that's just a great thing right there.
I want to make a correction there.
Right
4
up to the
turnovers so
second.
far for Aliquippa.
So here we go. We got another one, guys. This one's on fire, 27-20. Come back to Washington, and Washington to the 31-yard line, and he is hit, and he is dropped by Scott Snyder. 5 plays, 62 yards. The big fumble recovery by Surface after the hit that time from Wetzel. The Aliquippa looked like they were in great shape at the Northern Lehigh 39, and they take it the other way, and Jack Gill from 6 yards to give the Bulldogs the lead at 7.
One of the questions that we had was could Northern Lehigh benefit from the wind, but going long field. We've shown that they have a couple of 60-plus yard drives here in the third quarter to go from down 6 to up 7.
Here comes Revis the other way this time. Trying to get a block. This time they string it out and push him out of bounds after a gain of about 1. You better have every lane occupied and accounted for when number 2 is coming around the edge here.
One of the interesting things that they did against Slippery Rocks, and here you'll see it again with Revis heading out and everybody covering. Good pursuit this time by Northern Lehigh, slowing down right there. You saw Fullweiler getting a hand in the foot, slowing him down just enough to finish him off by Surface on the far side.
There you can see Surface taking Revis going out of bounds. Let's head down as we are at the end of the third quarter. 27-20, Northern Lehigh by 7. Here's Mike Zambelli. Mike?
Team has obviously turned this community, their community, upside down. They're in great support of this football team. I'm joined now by Charlie Goddard, who has his own television show. Charlie, welcome to Hershey, Pennsylvania. Your thoughts on the game so far here tonight?
Boy, what a great game, and as always, you guys do a great job. Corey, Clark, kudos, and all of you guys do fantastic job. I was at home watching on Friday. I loved it. I watched the Pine-Richland game, and now this game. Surprising, probably some people, huh?
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about your show. What do you cover?
Well, our TV show is a Charlie Goddard show starring Charlie Goddard and Charlie Goddard. And unfortunately, the other Charlie Goddard's a senior at Aliquippa, but he's sick. Not unfortunately he's a senior, but he was sick today. There he is right there. You might see him. And, you know, we do some comedy, music videos. We've been doing a lot of sports-related things, too. Yeah, we want to wish everybody a Merry Quipmas.
Quipmas. Very good. Yeah. Thanks, Charlie. Good luck with your show.
Hey, thank you. Wednesday nights, 11 o'clock on WBGN TV in Pittsburgh.
You got it, the Charlie Goddard Show.
As we start the fourth quarter, an incomplete pass, so 3rd and 8 upcoming now for Aliquippa, but the key here is that they will go with the wind to their back now the rest of the way.
I don't mean to giggle, but it makes me want to go down to Pittsburgh sometime just to watch Charlie's show.
Can I get him on the cable?
What a hoot.
But that's fun. I like that.
Oh, yeah. Stuff. Oh, absolutely.
And right now, they need a first down. Well, they're going to give the ball back to Northern Lehigh. Here's Gilliam. This time they wheel it back from McKenzie, incomplete, but they had that well covered even if he comes up with it, because Surface and Fulweiler has on his helmet. Those are for good deeds. Is that the first helmet, or is he working on a second one? Good punt. You can see the effect of the wind. Wada now gets a block, but Aliquippa has that well covered all the way back near the 14-yard line, or near the 11.
That's the first time in the second half that we've seen the wind really play a part in this game for an actual play, because that punt just kept carrying and carrying and carrying. Finally over the head of Suchak. We'll see it here. Looks like he has a bead right there, and it just keeps going. Wada picks it up, and at this point it's just hold on and duck.
Well, obviously it's a tale of two cities on this one, because if you're Aliquippa, you want to hold them to 3 and out. On the other side of your Northern Lehigh, 2 or 3 first downs at least would be the best you can do. And look at those numbers. Third quarter yards gained, Northern Lehigh 81, the Quips 1.
And the big number is 13-0 is what Northern Lehigh outscored Aliquippa in that third quarter to take the 20.
They haven't had much success, certainly up the middle.
Like that.
He says as they gain 7 yards.
With Surface.
They put Surface right over LeBrun that time, number 57, the center. And I mean, he just headed right up the guy. Was straight ahead blocking. Nothing fancy about it at all. Watch this. Nice job in the middle.
Senior dominated offensive line. I know Mike Zmianek really likes his offensive line. The thing he respects most is just their versatility, because they do so many different sets. Northern Lehigh, they run option, and they do the power game.
It's 107 yards on only 7 carries so far. 101 yards on 107 carries.
Sometimes Fulweiler, not much there to the 21-yard line.
Okay, take 3. 101 yards on 16 carries. Thanks, George Zurich.
And you get no surge for the offensive line on this one. Take a look. Right there, you're going to try to get some kind of surge. I think it stood back. Look at this. And the line that moved forward that time was black and white and red.
Jimmy Brown was in there for Aliquippa. So a big 3rd and 3. There it is on the day. Northern Lehigh hitting about a 40% clip. Surface didn't get there, got to the 21. They needed the 24.
44 and 88, Forbes and McKenzie. Sounds like a law firm right now. It's been a really good defensive linebacking core for Aliquippa, and they busted that play wide open.
They have been a law firm here in the third quarter, laying down the law. Look at him, going off that left side, number 88. You saw McKenzie leading the charge again.
Also 63, Willie Walker.
That's a nose guard, guys, flashing out like that to make that play. So on for the punt, and a big one is Josh Ziegler. Gets it to hang up in the air. And they'll let that go, and it takes an Aliquippa roll toward the 42-yard line. Sensational field position for Aliquippa.
Back.
Yep.
Said it last series, and here he is. Terrell Revis.
Last week came in against Slippery Rock and then had a 56-yard touchdown run in his first play from scrimmage in the fourth quarter. And it looks like we may have that unbalanced line thing going against Aliquippa again. Here we go.
Prior to the snap, lined up in the neutral zone, still first down.
You can't line up off sides, guys.
So that moves it back to the 47 now, and it'll be 1st and 15.
Mike Zmianek just goes down a couple yards and says something to his team, probably close to don't line up off sides.
However you say that in Aliquippa.
Revis throwing downfield, got a man, and it is caught by Gerard Littlejohn all the way down to the 9, make it the 8-yard line.
Holy cow. And again, Revis is going to get credit for a big pass play, but that was all Gerard Littlejohn because the ball hung up a little bit, looked like good defensive position by the defender, and just an amazing catch by Littlejohn.
I'll tell you what that was about. Revis got a better arm. Look at this, the best catch we've seen of the weekend right there with Littlejohn bringing it down. And now you're going to see, I think, Gilliam get back in there again. That was all Revis was in there for, was to throw the bomb.
39 yards from Revis to Littlejohn.
Gilliam back at quarterback.
1st and goal at the 8 now for Aliquippa.
Let's say, who do you think is going to get it?
Revis, but there isn't much room to operate, and he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. I think he may have lost a half a yard. In on the stop, it's going to be Plotsko.
It's almost like the old Bill Cosby routine about playing schoolyard football. Darrell Revis is the bottle cap, and they're moving the bottle cap all over the place in this offense.
I don't know if we can, I'm sorry, Jack, go ahead.
Also, Ray White in on that stop.
You know what they do with the Revis? They drop him back like 7 yards, kind of the old USC way of running their running backs, where you can look over the defense, get that extra moment, and then pick your spot a little bit better. And for a guy like Revis, that's very dangerous.
Revis got a block, but this time closing in there on the hole. Looks like Plotsko again. And it looked like that was...
We've mentioned the diminutive stature of Craig Plotsko, and sometimes he gets lost in there, and I don't think Darrell Revis saw him.
He's only 5'6". 3rd downs for Aliquippa, but a big one here. Pitching to Revis, has some blocking, cuts it back, and it's going to be 4th and goal at about the 2-yard line. They've been here before. On their last touchdown drive toward the end of the 2nd quarter, they looked at 4th and 2 and gave it to Revis. They say it's closer to the 1 here.
You can pretty much rule out the field goal effort, right?
I would think so.
We haven't tried to kick all day. I'm kidding with that. Revis looks like he's almost thinks he's ready to win here. He doesn't really jet forward, and he kind of gets nailed at the end. And so now here you are, the biggest play of the game for Aliquippa.
He ran up his own teammate that time, Javon Pratt. So here we are.
Good place maybe for the dive. A little far out.
This is Revis, touchdown, Aliquippa.
And we're going to see Forbes, 44, with a pretty dandy lead block on this.
That whole left side surged forward. They were in the end zone 2 yards before Revis ever hit the line. And you watch the whole left side of the line, right here, right there. Full house backfield. And they're in there. Revis hits the line. It's already cleared away.
Forbes with the block on the linebacker. Right there.
I mean, by the time he gets there, there's nothing left.
Yeah, on Wada. And now Aliquippa is going to call a timeout to see what they're going to do.
Well, they're going for 2 because, as Mike Zambelli told us, they don't have a kicking game for this type of moment.
It could be something you want to work on in Aliquippa now for you people out there. Just start someone to go out and start practicing a little soccer style thing. Do they play soccer in Aliquippa?
Let's go down to Mike right now. I see him right down by that goal line. Mike, we see Revis up here. How explosive does it look at ground level? Oh, that's for Team Kreischer, and he was perfect the other day, 7 for 7 in extra points, but Aliquippa will go for 2 in the lead here.
Revis at quarterback.
It's going to be an option play.
Here's Revis. He's going one-on-one. Can he get to the corner? Still going, fighting. No, he's a half-yard shy.
It was Fulweiler taking him out right at the goal line. I mean, unbelievably there at the end. And also Tyler Tack right there with him.
The coach's son knocking him out.
Watch this. Right here at the goal line. It's a war right at the pylon. Look right here. Here it comes. Stop there.
Surface got it first. Close.
In the end. Surface tries to slow him down. Fulweiler finishes him off along with Tack. Surface does slow him down, though. Tack and Fulweiler just get him on the other side of the pylon.
And he actually steps out of bounds. The ball, I think, is close to going inside the pylon, but he steps out of bounds first because he was helped out by Tack and Fulweiler.
He's doing that basketball reach thing there.
Well, he let the ball go, too, at the end. And watch the foot right here. There's the foot. It's already out before he gets to the pylon.
Guys, just great work.
And as we see, he gets it inside the pylon, but it doesn't count if he steps out first.
Here we go. This is the key play in the drive right here. This is 39-yard catch. And watch this on the other side. Gerard Littlejohn jumping right over Wada for the catch. And then Revis 4 plays later for the touchdown. And here we go. Surface with it, and he's sliced down at the 30-yard line. And the Aliquippa defense will have to try and buckle down to get their offense another opportunity.
A little bit better field position this time for Northern Lehigh as they started. With feeling we won't see any passes here, at least for a few moments. There's that inside handoff again. Nothing going on there.
Looks like interesting if somebody's got a mask in there, or
McKenzie looked like he had a face guard there, or face mask rather.
Usually this is not good news for the defensive team.
Donnell McKenzie had his hand up around the face mask. We'll see if we can see it right here. Now watch. Right there.
There it
see
is.
the hand right there?
You got it,
That's
Gary.
where the face mask is.
And in high school, there's no fine. It's a 15-yard penalty. So this is a big one against Aliquippa here.
We had a 5-yard face mask against the defense. 5 yards from the end of the run. Still first down.
I apologize saying that was 15, only 5.
Here it is again. You see right here. There you see the face mask. Right there it is. You can't grab him by the helmet, guys.
You can. You just can't grab a hold of the face mask.
Just can't get caught.
That's true.
Well, that guy's had a heck of a second half, despite the face mask penalty there. Mr. McKenzie.
Flag for motion.
Yep. Fulweiler gets pushed out, and he'll take this 5 yards.
Yep.
No doubt about that. So 1st and 4 becomes 1st and 9.
Just get the impression the last team the ball is going to win this game. I mean, there's been no sustaining the momentum at all. It's been a highly entertaining game, but if you're looking for somebody to sustain something, you're not going to find it here.
Mike Smianek standing all the way down near the 40-yard line. He went away from his team. Aliquippa, this is their 4th trip to the state championship since the tournament began in 1988. They lost in the first year of this to Berwick in 1988. Here we go.
Illegal shift on the offense. 5 yards from the previous spot. Repeat, first down.
You see 2 men moving here, and here you're going to get it. 2 guys are going to be in motion. There's one, and here's the second one right there. You can't put this guy in motion after this guy has already cut through. At the same time, or as we like to say in Eastern Pennsylvania, simultaneously.
Surface got a head of steam, and look out, it's got a first down and a lot more. Now it's a foot race and a cutback, and he's still going, and he's still cooking to the 28-yard line. A gain of 42 yards by Surface.
I thought Service made a heck of a mistake there, stopping for a moment. Then he still ended up making more yards out. I think if he kept going north-south, he gets more yards anyway. But what a run by Surface and a big play here at this juncture of the game.
Block right there by
Watch him stop here. He stops right here and plays with it for a minute. Right there, and he gets, looks like he still had a little more time to go, and now he makes more yards anyway.
I think it was Gill that made the block initially.
Good inside seal block there. And then the cutback, and then he stops. Then he goes again. Give credit. Service knew what he was doing on that play.
Surface again. Blows through to the 25-yard line. A gain of 4, but more importantly for Northern Lehigh, tick, tick, tick on the clock.
We're going to see a train wreck between Fulweiler and Forbes if we see a replay on this. Fulweiler's supposed to be the lead blocker. I'm not sure he bought into this.
Oh, man.
Actually, that was Revis.
Yeah, Revis hit Fulweiler dead on that time.
Holy cow. Bang.
Look at that. And Revis, they've come up and tried to make a play at it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's a heavy-duty hit. And then it was Willie Walker from his nose tackle position making the stop.
Good play. Jump ball out. Yes, it is. Aliquippa's got a huge fumble recovery. It's Forbes on the ball.
Wow.
Well, I'll tell you what. Like I said, no momentum sustained in this game, and Forbes gives Aliquippa new hope.
How big is that turnover right there? That's the first fumble loss for Northern Lehigh today. Who got the hit? It's McKenzie again.
McKenzie again. Knocks it out. Forbes just pulled it off the backside. You're going to see there. Look at McKenzie. Gets it loose. And now the ball comes loose right in behind here. And Forbes picks it up.
McKenzie's had a brilliant second half defensively for the Quips. Revis will come in at quarterback.
There's that delay again back there. Delay draw.
To Patrick, who gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 4:39 remaining. Good heady play by Patrick, who rips off 8 yards on first down.
Showed really good speed, too, because it looked like he wasn't going to get much.
Revis, he's just going to keep it himself, has the first down, and look out, he's headed the outside. Revis in a foot race. Surface, last man to get him, can't do it. Revis, touchdown! 64 yards, Darrell Revis, his 4th of the day, hits the home run, scrambling, got to the outside, and puts Aliquippa back in front.
They were down to Slippery Rock 15-14 in the Western Final. They put Revis at quarterback. They run 20 straight points to win. And look at this. Put him at quarterback, and he just takes over.
What a sensational run by Revis.
And it sounds like a broken record. It doesn't look like he's running that fast. But if you notice, he doesn't have to make many sharp cuts. He decides right here he's going. There's a little cut there, and
Watch
the rest.
Cut back. Just a nice little sharp cut back to just angles. He knows how, his angles very, very well. We talked about that Slippery Rock game. I said 30 points. He actually 2 touchdowns, 69 and 55 yards from the quarterback spot, similar to what we just saw here today.
Player down for Northern Lehigh.
I think it's Jake Surface.
Is Jake Surface. Let's check in with Mike Zambelli right now, because that play went right by him. Mike?
Thinking he's going to throw the football. I think what they really want him to do is improvise exactly the way he did, create some space, and take it to the house for the touchdown.
You got to give credit to Coach Mike Spianek, too. And what he has done is he has put Revis in situations to take advantage of opportunities, and that's what they've done here. And, we said he was going to go to quarterback eventually. He did. Regard points after touchdowns. Hasn't been real good so far.
Here's Gilliam into the end zone, and it's tipped away.
Fulweiler knocks it down.
1 for 5 on conversions. And they've gone for 2 points every time, so now they lead by 5.
I'm not even sure Mike Zambelli had a good enough angle on Darrell Revis that time.
Let's go to Mike. Mike?
Yeah, thanks again, guys. As you look at that.
A crystal clear, chilly afternoon here in Chocolatetown.
Northern Lehigh going against the score. They're down by 5 and going against the wind as well here at Hershey Stadium.
kickoff return and field position will be huge. This is Surface. Surface is going to get the job done. It blows it right up the middle towards midfield. A fabulous return by Surface, and Northern Lehigh's got a heck of a chance. Check out our website at PCNTV.com. Pennsylvania Cable Network. We'd love to hear from you. Have a look at future programming options. And also email us as well at PCNTV@PCNTV.com. And for the first time this year, we have streaming video of the 2003 PIAA Football Championships. PCNTV.com. And again, email us at PCNTV@PCNTV.com. Right now, Surface. This time they slice him down. A great play defensively that time for Aliquippa.
When you talk about Aliquippa getting in on that play, number 63, Willie Walker, the nose guard, just slicing through and submarining in on Surface. Watch this. Willie right over here on the side. You're going to see him get right on through. He's right here.
Willie Walker here?
Willie Walker getting right in and watch him submarine right here at the end. Boom.
That was a high snap as we saw it. I don't think Surface, he wanted to make sure he had the football first. It was almost another fumble.
Let's see if the Bulldogs can capitalize on that 40-yard kickoff return. Big play by Jake Surface.
Surface into Aliquippa territory to about the 48-yard line.
Walker again blew that one up from his nose tackle position. First guy to hit Surface.
Walker at that nose guard's about 6'2", 230, a junior, and here he is again in on the play first.
Wada in for him with a play from that Northern Lehigh sideline. This is 4 down country now.
4 out of 11 so far in third down situations for Northern Lehigh.
Wade is going to keep it himself, and he is hit by McKenzie and dropped out of bounds.
How quick is McKenzie? 6'2", 220, going laterally, and just took Wade right out of the picture.
I didn't catch a number, but they were bringing 34, Jack Gill, out on that little swing pass, and he was covered from the get-go.
Waited to decide early to tuck it away and just start going. Yeah, there's Gill out there. You can see him, but just not ever really open.
Nope.
Look at that. Look at him surge the ball there by the black and white and red jerseys.
Yeah, it was Forbes. I'm screened off from my angle, but it was Forbes who had that big play. 4th and 8 now. They still have 3 timeouts remaining. Flags fly. This, I think, is going to go against the Bulldogs here. They may have jumped early.
Down.
But now they're more worried about 4th and 13. Now they're going to use that timeout. Aliquippa's going to use it instead. They must have not liked the way they had their defensive. Afternoon at 5 o'clock, the main event of today in Quad A. It'll be Central Catholic going up against North Penn, both in the regional rankings. In USA Today, North Penn 12th nationally, Central Catholic. He'll stand in the shotgun. And away we go. The blitz is coming. Wada steps through over the middle, incomplete. Pretty good coverage downfield. And again, their secondary all can run. All are sub 4.5 40 guys, and it's tough to find a seam in there.
Depending on the angle we get, we're going to see outstanding defensive backfield coverage. There was nobody open.
Well, they have 3 timeouts remaining, but they cannot allow a first down. If Aliquippa gets a first down, game, set, match.
Look at the pursuit, and then look at the coverage out here, and nobody home. We're just throwing in the middle of the field. The other thing about all their backs, all their defensive backs, they're all big.
Yep.
You know, they're big guys who you know, make it really tough to try to get open anywhere.
There's the player of the moment for Aliquippa. All the great athletes in their history, and he's right there.
Who better to put in his hands right now? Just take off and run.
But stay in bounds. He gets out of bounds, and that stops the clock, even though he had positive yardage for 4 or 5 yards.
Well, I think what we'll see, Jed, is that he tried to cut back inside and got hit in the air and got pushed out of bounds.
I mean, he's not even going to hand it off. It's just going to be him every time.
got to hold on to the football. Now they got to burn one of their timeouts, and there we go with 1:32 left.
You want to see how good Craig Plotzko's been all year. You can see it on this replay.
You got to travel. You see a little bit of everything in the postseason, and to make a state championship game is indeed an enormous achievement.
Now the question is Aliquippa willing to put it in the air here? No, they're going to.
No way.
They're going to put Revis there and just let him take off again, I think.
He's just going to run around with it. This time cuts it up, dives forward. They'll keep the clock going.
And now you go. Now you go for the 4th down.
Yeah, there's no way they're going to punt the football or, you know, give them an opportunity to block a kick. So it's 4th down and about a yard for Revis here.
Revis just makes this on his own. I mean, forget the blocking. Revis does this. He gets the outside and just dives forward and stretches that long body out, trying to get to the 1st down.
And for Northern Lehigh, if they can't stop him, that's the ball game.
Now, there's a big conference on the side. I think Coach Mike Shabianik is, I think they're having a real battle there on whether they're going to kick it or whether they're going to try to get the 1st down.
There's no way you kick. Let's go down to Mike Zambelli. Mike?
Yeah, guys, I am about 5 yards away from that huddle, and there is a real conversation going on right now about whether we're going to go or whether we're going to kick the football. And I'm not sure that they have totally made that decision as of yet. As it looks like they may be sending out the kicking team, and I might be a little surprised with you guys.
I am real stunned that they are going to kick this football. I know Mike Washington's going to go back in punt formation. I am really surprised. I'm not trying to second guess, but bad snap. I mean, you know, a lot of things can go against you here.
Key here is, I mean, you're looking for field position. That's all you want right now, or lack of it. They might do a short snap here, too. You never know. Nope. And there it is.
It's blocked. This is why you should not have kicked. Surface comes up with it, and Surface has it all the way to the 42-yard line.
Talk about calling it, and there it is. You know, the percentages for Aliquippa are probably different than anybody else in this game. You go for the 1st down.
They are still alive.
You're going to see a whole lot of coaches down there who just were preaching the kick, running in opposite directions. Look at this. Just a great surge that time by the line. Look at him coming straight up the middle here. You're going to see Fulweiler getting a hand in there from the near side.
They still have 42 long yards to go, but they have 1 timeout remaining. Pass caught. It's the tight end.
Still got 2 timeouts left.
Make that Gill. They have 1 timeout remaining. Clock continues to move. Clock will stop after every 1st down made. They have to score a touchdown. A touchdown will win it for them as they get a second life off the block punt. Later rolls the other way. Pass thrown, pass caught, got a 1st down. That'll stop. They're going to keep the clock going. They got to get a measurement and stop it. He's right on the stick.
Oh, he's got it. He's definitely got it. I think
they keep losing seconds. Now they finally stopped the clock. They must have lost 8 or 9 seconds right there.
Now, Coach Tack is going to have an argument here.
I don't know why they don't stop the clock for the measurement right away. They've lost 7 or 8 seconds. They'll have to get our guys ready at the line of scrimmage with the play immediately. Because it looks like the spot gives it the 1st down. They're going to bring the chains across. Fulweiler with a tough catch right there. This is a team that has thrown for less than 800 yards on the year, having to throw the football to win a state championship. 1st down.
366 yards. Actually added together with the other quarterback, 361, so just a little bit under 800 yards for the year. You're right.
I think it's one of those iffy situations, though. I agree. Tack is going to be upset because they didn't stop the clock earlier.
Yeah, but he has to have his guys ready to go.
Right, with the measurement, they get a little chance to, I think, catch their breath and figure out what they're going to do.
They restart the clock. Later rolling on the run. That ball is intercepted by Gilliam, and Gilliam has it to the 49, and that'll do it for Aliquippa.
Second interception of the game by Gilliam, and now there'll be no chance taking anymore.
Now you take a knee. They have 1 timeout remaining. But for Northern Lehigh, you couldn't have asked for more considering the circumstance. They got the block kick and a chance to win it here at the end.
Never really got a good spiral on that at all. Never really had the man open. Good coverage again by the secondary, and they've been there all day long. And Gilliam with the second interception.
Yeah, it's a great inside cut by Shavonte Gilliam.
And that's just about as perfectly as you can play it right there.
Touches a knee. And it's a heartbreaking finish for Northern Lehigh, but Aliquippa finally gets to the gold medal game and wins one. They were here in 2000, ran into a great Mount Carmel team, and it didn't happen for them. They were as a AAA finalist in 91 and won that in a shutout over Hanover area, and Aliquippa strikes gold in a shootout in the AA gold medal game and win it 32-27.
We were all standing around here on Friday night saying we didn't think we'd see.
32-27 to Aliquippa. Pete Wada in the shotgun snap will roll to the right side. His team trails by 5. Intercepted by Aliquippa. Tommy Campbell on the pick. Tommy Campbell on the pick. No, Javonte Gilliam, Jim. Javonte Gilliam on the interception. Aliquippa's got the football. Javonte Gilliam. Thanks, Tom. Some calls not go in favor of the Quips way today, but Javonte Gilliam, Bob, he's going to seal this one.
Oh, my. Well, you know what? When Northern Lehigh has to pass continuously, it was going to catch up with you, especially against that great Aliquippa secondary.
My apologies to Javonte. He's 11. Tommy Campbell is 42. And Javonte gets the ball. Aliquippa takes the knee, and they'll force Northern Lehigh to use their final timeout, but will they? The clock continues to roll with 5th on the unbelievable. They come to Hershey, and they won their second state championship here this afternoon on a Sunday at Hershey. Oh, and it's poetic justice for Javonte Gilliam, guys. You know he feels a little bit down when Darrell Revis goes in at quarterback, but it was the right thing to do. It was not a reflection on the abilities of Javonte Gilliam. It's just that the Quips needed a spark. Revis gave it to him, but guys, I'm going to tell you what. Javonte Gilliam might have been the defensive star of the game.
Well, I'll tell you, in a weekend that saw 2 games.
Strikes gold in a shootout in the AA gold medal game and win it 32-27.
We were all standing around here on Friday night saying we didn't think we'd see a better game. This wasn't better, but it was darn sure close to being as enjoyable. This was such a fun game to watch.
Well, it was exciting because you get a little bit of everything in this game, much like we saw on Friday night. So you get a little smattering of everything. You get a swashbuckling stuff. There's Coach Tack and his Bulldogs of Northern Lehigh. What a fantastic season they had. Proud bunch of Bulldogs.
How about Darrell Revis today, guys? It was his run that wins the game. And how about that young man, Donnell McKenzie? He had a whopper second half. And the traditional handshake, the good sportsmanship, the respect, I think both of these teams, they had it going in. There's even more so now that they've played one another all afternoon long. And Northern Lehigh has nothing to be ashamed of whatsoever. They played their hearts out today. It's just they're on the wrong end of the scoreboard, but they're on the right end of everything else. They've got a great head coach, they've got a great program, and they've got a tradition that has really started. They're going to be back. We'll hear a lot from them in future years. And what more do you say about Aliquippa? They're always around in the West, and they strike gold today.
Well, what you say about them is they know how to play. I mean, they have a lot of fun playing. They made some mistakes today. They covered up the mistakes with some great secondary play. Their secondary was unbelievable today when they had to be.
And we'll put a whole Darrell Revis package together for you and show you just how brilliant he's been. Kickoff return, block field goal, and a return there. Short run of 2 and another one. Yeah, I mean, had it all going on.
Merry Quitmas, as the guy said down there a little earlier.
2 other words you can say about Aliquippa, our Pee Wee program. I was talking to someone before the game saying, how does Aliquippa keep getting all of these special athletes? Darrell Revis, the latest in line, and they have a really wonderful Pee Wee program in Aliquippa. And the other thing that should be mentioned that we haven't is that they're the AA champs, but not by the size of their school. They choose to play up. They're single A in terms of the population in their school.
It'll be interesting, a few days when this thing comes off and you go by the trophy case, you'll know what a gigantic accomplishment this whole year has been for them.
I think also because these are two schools that haven't participated in this game in a while, if ever. And that big old silver trophy doesn't look so bad, you know, the first week in January.
The other thing, too, is you can't win or lose this game till you play in this game, and that's the kicker. You give a chance. You don't get anything guaranteed. You just get a chance to get in and play it.
There's Savante Gilliam, whose interception sealed it late fourth quarter. And there it is, their first one that they have been able to manage gold since 1991. A lot of these guys we'll see in basketball. They're one of the favorites in the West. One of the big reasons, as you said, Gary, is Darrell Revis and his 26.2 points per game average. They can get him back on the practice floor, and he'll be ready to go in a week.
All-trip performer last year, and only 26 points a game in basketball, too. So there you go. And Darrell Revis is a show here today with a different kind of ball, the football.
Aliquippa wins their first state championship. Northern Lehigh, heroic in a very, very good-looking AA gold medal game, won by the Quips, 32-27. For Steve Bowen, for Gary Sutton, for Mike Zambelli, our entire TV2 and Service Electric crew. 32-27. I'm Jed Donahue. It's the Darrell Revis Show, and Aliquippa strikes gold. We'll be back with Pittsburgh Central Catholic and North Penn at 5 o'clock. Till then, good afternoon, everyone.
Troy Yakaguchi. Oh, and Shavante Gilliam over here. Come on, Gil, get in here. Featuring number 78, Jordan DiNardo. Now, guys, you just won the States, and we just got done with the big giant assembly we had here today at the middle school. Now, this question goes to Paris. Oh, whoa. We have Donnell McKenzie over here, too. I mean, I didn't see him. I just heard something. Donnell, I see. Oh, Sean Jeter now. Jeez, it's like a special guest every 2 seconds. The kicker. Red Dog, too. His nickname is Red Dog. So, Paris, what's this? Oh, nice. Oh, and look, now here comes the trophy. Jeez, this is a crazy show. Oh, now it's Little John. State champs. So guys, how do you feel?
It feels good. State champion.
And our cheerleader sponsor, Mrs. Golden. Would also like to recognize and thank the following participants of this morning's parade, the 8-pound steppers. An inspiration for the city and has demonstrated the true meaning of fellowship.
Here with these fine young men, day in and day out. Because after all, education is what it's all.
I jump on things. But not only that, y'all guys are in high school.
So you guys remember that. You guys sitting here in front of us, keep your minds right. PIAA champion. one PIAA state champion.
Sean Gilbert and Ty Law are three guys who didn't forget where they came from. One of the gentlemen on the dais here, I'd like to... One more time as a group, maybe for the last time. All the members of the football team, please stand. Congratulations, wear your rings in health, and good luck to you. This project was one of the more stressful projects for a small organization such as our quarterback club. However, it was the most rewarding. In the time that I've been involved with the quarterback club for 7 years, we purchased 2 sets of uniforms since that day in January. I'll go through the roster in numerical order.
We come get him.
Number 26, Dante Patrick. Number 30, Eddie Carter.